I'm Anthony Wilroth, and welcome to Eyes on Como, where we put a spotlight on Columbia and Boone County, Missouri local government and politics. Now, on this channel, we report news, but we also editorialize and advocate. I am an activist myself, and I'm involved in conversations every day with people all over the community about these things. I don't just make these videos on the channel. Everything I say here comes from someplace. And today, I'm here to introduce to you something that I've been working on with a diverse group of advocates in Columbia. When I say diverse, I truly mean it. This is a group of people that come from all income levels, all backgrounds and walks of life. And what we have done is come up with a vitally important list of demands for all elected officials and office seekers here in the city of Columbia. We've prepared a graphic to explain very clearly our demands of how we hold our politicians accountable and move Columbia forward as a community. So let me introduce that to you now. Here it is. We're going to blow this up in as many places as we can and make sure it gets in front of as many eyes as possible because we really worked hard on this to make sure that it gets to the heart of what we believe the biggest issues in our community are at the moment. So let's look at it section by section. First of all, who we are. It reads, "We are a group of Columbia citizens concerned that we are living in a police state. Between Missouri Senate Bill 26, an ineffective Citizens Police Review Board, and a mayor and city council that quickly and uncritically give police new tools, we feel lives are at risk." So when we say we feel lives are at risk, we truly mean that. Lots of people in this community have unfortunately lost their lives at the hands of the police, and many other people have had their lives ruined. We know of examples of police intimidating people physically and otherwise in the community. We have a huge racial disparity in our traffic stops and really every action that our police take. There's a huge racial disparity. We're building data. We don't have as much data as we'd like because the police always withhold the data, but we're building out data that show that very few reports get written on calls. If the police go out and do something, usually across the city, something like 80% of the time, no report is even written for that. So our police are not being held accountable, and it is dangerous. That's what we mean when we say we feel lives are at risk. So Missouri Senate Bill 26, that's vitally important to this whole thing. That has essentially doubled, tripled the lack of oversight that our police have. So Missouri Senate Bill 26 has a section known as the Police Officer's Bill of Rights. And what this does is undermine the entire idea of due process and give police officers that are accused of misconduct a whole extra set of rights that nobody else has. It limits investigations to 90 days. Officers have to receive 24-hour written notice of allegations before an investigation even begins. Officers are aware of who is accusing them. It makes it to where there's no opportunity for oversight if somebody even feels comfortable bringing their appeal forward under those scenarios. It makes it super easy for police to intimidate people out of even reporting them because, again, this establishes in law in Missouri that you have to tell the police that you are accusing them. You have to tell the person that has abused the powers of the law to enact violence on you that you're accusing them, and then they have 24 hours before the investigation begins. That is just not great. And here in Columbia, Missouri last year, our city council enacted this 7-0. They were advised, I guess by lawyers in the city, that they had no option but to adopt this because it was passed at the state level. But that can always be challenged, and other communities in Missouri absolutely challenged it. St. Louis brought it to court. Here's an article from Missouri Independent. Go read it. It says, "Legal fight over civilian oversight of St. Louis police could have statewide implications. A 2021 state law established a law enforcement bill of rights, creating a potential barrier to the city's new civilian-led investigation agency." And this tells you all about how St. Louis did not take this lying down like Columbia did. Trust me, we don't have everything that's in the national news like St. Louis does with our police, but We have a problem here. The data shows it. We cannot just accept things that are happening in Jefferson City at the state level because everything's fine here in Columbia. We need to hold them accountable, and uncritically passing SB 26 was not it. So, moving along to the next section. Columbia does not engage with citizens authentically. It reads, Columbia's mayor, city staff, and city council have cultivated a culture where any appearance of authentic engagement is just that, appearance. This is exemplified by Columbia's willingness to be the only city treating American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, proposals as closed records. Again, the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA for short, that's COVID relief money. Huge sums of money that every community and county in the country has received. And it's meant to help us get over all of the inequities caused by COVID. And we are the only community anybody knows of in the state of Missouri and elsewhere that I know of that is treating all of the proposals for how to spend this money as closed records. People have tried to sunshine them, and they are told that they cannot see these proposals until they have been gone through, selected, out for RFP, brought back, and ready to be rubber stamped. It's clear that they're trying to hide something, and it's important that we find out what it is. We need to know what it is that people are asking them to spend this once-in-a-lifetime federal money on. So those two sections lay out the scenario, how we get to this situation, but what are our demands? So we have funneled this down to 3 vital demands. There's so much more than that needs to happen, but if we can get these 3 knocked out and hold every politician in Columbia to these standards, we'll be in a lot better shape moving forward. So demand number 1, open the ARPA process. Immediately treat all ARPA proposals as public record. This one's very clear and doesn't need any more explanation. Just treat ARPA as public record. Our second demand is police oversight. Challenge Missouri Senate Bill 26 and begin the process of adopting an independent investigative CPRB model. Challenge SB 26, we already explained, but what do we mean by begin the process of adopting an independent investigative CPRB model? Well, CPRB is the Citizens Police Review Board. We have one here in Columbia, but the ordinance that establishes it is ineffective and has been made doubly so by the adoption of SB 26. They have no investigative capacity. They can't really go in and find facts about what the police did. They can just look at the police's same story and, I guess, decide whether or not they believe it and then report it to council. There's not a real clear path forward for how they're supposed to hold the police accountable. So we need to first challenge SB 26 and then begin the process of reevaluating our Citizens Police Review Board and actually giving it some teeth so that there's an option for people who want to appeal our police officers' behavior to actually get it heard in a way that is safe for them and amounts in real consequences in the end. Our final demand is no new tools for police. It reads, without proper oversight of our police department, again, including challenging SB 26, it is dangerous of our city to continually authorize new tools for our police. This most directly and most recently relates to our city's push to adopt the Fusus camera system that links cameras, privately owned cameras, to the police department. People can opt in, opt out, things of that nature, but in the end, it gives police real-time access to certain private cameras in the city. They're going to be public facing. They're trying to get safeguards in place, but the appropriate safeguards are not in place yet, and that is the problem. This technology can easily be abused by the police, and until we make sure that that technology can't be abused by the police, we cannot give the police that technology. And that does not just go for Fusus. Police are continually adopting new technologies. You can just Google new weapons that the police have and get endless results. We got one within the past year here in Columbia that looks like something out of a cartoon. It shoots a net out of a gun at somebody to catch them. It says it just slows them down, but it's a tool that we have and haven't used. Yet we have used our tools like guns to kill people. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's take another look at the tools we have, not introduce new ones until there are appropriate safeguards in place. And really, that's all we have prepared at the moment. We have a lot more plans cooking for how to move this forward and how to actually go about holding everybody accountable to this. But this is what we need to do. 3 demands: open the ARPA process, police oversight, and no new tools for police. Memorize them, be ready to spit them back to anybody who asks you. If we can be a coalition that is clear about what we want here, that's the first step. And this goes for city staff, city manager, city council, the mayor, all of our elected officials, everybody seeking office. If you want to work for Columbia and make Columbia a better place, this is how you do it. We'll have more soon. In the meantime, I'm Anthony Wilroth, and keep your eyes on Como.